Coming up on NFL Primetime, booze? I don't respond well to booze. That's what Brett Favre told the Packer faithful at Lambeau. And down goes Denver. One of the unbeatens falls from that category. Baltimore doing their best to make sure of that. And the Eagles flew all over the Giants. NFL Primetime has it all. Well, hi, everybody, and welcome into another edition of NFL Primetime. We are all glad you are here with us. Trey Wingo, Merrill Hodge is here, Trent Dilfer is here. Guys, we got lots to get to in Week 8. We had one of the undefeateds fall from the ranks of the undefeateds. We also had one of the defeateds fall from the ranks of the defeateds. We will get to all of that in just a little bit. And this guy named Brett Favre went back somewhere. But we have a big game coming up tonight on the Bayou at Monday Night Football. It is the Saints taking on the Falcons. And for more on that showdown in the NFC South, let us say hello to Michelle Tafoya in New Orleans.
Well, hey, Trey, Saints quarterback Drew Brees has thrown 14 touchdown passes this season, and he's spread them around among 6 different targets. Now, the Saints wide receivers range in size and skill, so they each understand their own role. And collectively, they understand that when Drew Brees drops back to pass, he's simply looking for his best target. He doesn't play favorites. As Sean Payton put it, Drew Brees is completely unbiased. He's a quarterback who is prejudiced to no one, and he said that Brees decides, deciphers, and delivers as well as anyone in the league. And if the receivers don't finish the play, they'll look foolish. Now for an update on the Falcons, here's Susie Colbert.
Michelle, Matt Ryan will have his hands full against the team that has the most interceptions in the NFL. Matt Ryan told me, in the end, you have to trust what you see in the field. Certainly, you have to be conscious of protecting the ball, but you can't go gun shy. You have to have confidence in your throws and trust that your guys are going to go make plays. You also have to know where Darren Sharper is. He has 6 interceptions, 3 for touchdowns. You can tell he studies his craft, but you have to be aggressive. And Trey, as for that relentless blitz, Matt said there is one constant. They're coming.
Susie and Michelle, thanks very much. It's going to be a great game tonight. And Trent, the thing that really stands out about the Saints, we've seen them win ball games lots of ways, with that prolific passing game, with that defense. But one thing that's been consistent in the last 2 games, we've really seen them attack right down the middle of defenses they face on offense.
Exactly. They attack the seams so well. And if you absolutely want to drive a defense crazy, you control the seams of the defense. That's what the New Orleans Saints do so well. They control the seams and opens up everything else for their offense, opens up the rest of their passing game. Well, what's the seam, though? Here it is defined, the bottom of the numbers to the hash mark. This is where the New Orleans Saints attack you the best. You got shotgun formation. Colson gets down the outer edge of the seam. They attack the far outside edge of the seam. It results in a touchdown here. But they do it with multiple people and in different parts attacking the seam. Here you see Devery Henderson running down the middle of the seam. He's got outside leverage. Drew Brees brings him inside. Once again, a down the field throw, attacking the vulnerability of the Miami Dolphins defense. And then Jeremy Shockey, let's get him involved too. A little bit more inside. This is the innermost part of the seam. It's right down the hash. But now you can see what the Saints do. They make you defend this part of the field like no other team in the National Football League. Because of this, it spreads the defense thin and allows every other element of your passing game to open up. That's why they get so much ball control.
Yeah, and
that's money right there.
Shockey has really been a big part in the last 2 games against his former team, the Giants, and, of course, against Miami, where he played his collegiate ball. And it is kind of funny, Merrill. We're all praising this New Orleans Saints defense after that game in Miami, where suddenly they found themselves down 24-3.
Well, I agree with you, Trey. They've been really one of the most consistent defenses in all of football. They've complemented what they're doing on the other side of the ball that Trent just showed you. And you heard Susie talk about how they're going to blitz. They're extremely disciplined as far as their blitz, but they're disciplined in all aspects of their defense. Even when they don't blitz, it's very difficult to break them down mentally because they make no mistakes during the course of the game. Great example, anytime you do run action, you're hoping somebody gets out of position. But look at the secondary. Look at their responsibility. Nobody overcommits. Everybody looks at the quarterback, make sure the handoff happens first. When the handoff doesn't happen, we have responsibilities in our passing game. Everybody is covered, especially the big play ability guys. The underneath guy, linebacker, is not caught up in the line of scrimmage. He gets out, have to dump it off, a 2-yard gain. They do a lot of stuff in the running game. Look at this eye candy. Little fire X action with the linebackers. Quick penetration. What happens? Backside. You've got leverage. Now you can close it. Front side, you closed as well. You collapse the pocket. Nope, you got penetration. You got the backside pursuit. You close it on the front end. Nowhere to run the football. When you look at this particular matchup, what does Atlanta do so well? They do so many things with misdirection and off their running game. All you have to do is have one mental error, and Atlanta gets a big play. It'll be difficult for the Atlanta Falcons to get big plays on this Saint defense tonight.
And this is a huge game for Atlanta. They're coming off that beating they took in Dallas where they got run out. And this is really a critical time for the Saints as well. This is their first division game of the season. They are the last team this year to play their first game in their own division, and it comes tonight on ESPN's Monday Night Football. Lots more coming for you on NFL Primetime. Hey, that's a perfect season for the Indianapolis Colts. Sort of. We'll explain what the significance of their win over the Niners was. You know, 5-0, that seems like a distant memory and a galaxy ago for Justin, Eli, Tom, and the Giants. And this just in, I may be wearing a visitor's uniform, but Lambeau, this is my house!
The new NHL season continues on ESPN America.
Shot! Score!
We've got live midweek regular season games this November. And Stanley Cup veterans are in action this Tuesday night. First up, the Detroit Red Wings host the Bruins in Hockeytown. Then the defending champion Penguins are in Anaheim to face the Ducks. Live midweek NHL this November on ESPN America.
For the widest choice of official North American sports merchandise. For the perfect gift to collect or just to look good and support your team, visit espnamerica.com.
Need to find tickets for the big game or concert? At SeatWave.com, there are over 1 million tickets on sale now for all the latest live entertainment. And with all tickets 100% guaranteed, you'll find just the tickets you're after so you can catch all the action live. Buy and sell tickets at SeatWave.com for live American football, Autumn's Rugby Internationals, Muse in concert, and many, many more. SeatWave.com, the fan-to-fan ticket exchange.
Patriots receiver Randy Moss gained over 1,000 receiving yards for the 9th time in 2008. His 9 career 1,000-yard seasons trails only Jerry Rice's 14 for the most all-time. In 2009, Moss will be reunited with quarterback Tom Brady, who missed nearly all of 2008 with a knee injury. With Brady at quarterback in 2007, Moss set an NFL record with 23 receiving touchdowns.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime.
We continue on NFL Primetime. Trey Wingo, Merrill Hodge, and Trent Dilfer. You know, guys, after 16 years of awesomeness as the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, Brett Favre walked into Green Bay and Lambeau Field for the first time as a visitor. You had to know he'd feel weird, but you have to know he'd feel pretty comfy there, given the fact that over his career he had won 89 times there as a starter for Green Bay. And that was booing, about 80% booing for Brett Favre. And you know what he said? Boo me all you want, because I'm going to do this.
You sure that wasn't Wisconsin cheers?
Whatever it was directed at him. And that was a 14-3 lead on the touchdown pass to Desante Shanko. Now listen, the last 2 times these teams faced, Aaron Rodgers was sacked 8 times. It didn't get much better here. Jared Allen, hello. What was the key to this play, Trent?
Absolute dominance here. Leverage. Look at Jared Allen. Get his hands extended, gets low, pushes the tackle back, direct line to the quarterback.
That's not good. Pro Bowler rookie advantage, Pro Bowler. Later in the first half, Rodgers back to pass, and this time he's eaten alive by Pat Williams. What happened here, Merrill?
Well, you're hoping misdirection, defensive tackle will be fooled by that. If he's not, Aaron Rodgers is in trouble. Williams not fooled by it.
That's a little bit of a half-hearted chip there, right?
Yeah, he's a big guy.
That's true.
Like to get him blocked, man.
Yeah.
That's what's going on in the huddle next.
6 sacks on this game, so 14 sacks in the 2 meetings combined for Aaron Rodgers. Tell you what, he hung in there. 17-3 now in the third quarter. Brett Favre with a little pump fake, and that is a beautiful throw to Percy Harvin. And then, like pinballs, all the Packers fall down, and it's a 51-yard score. Trent, there is no defense for.
A perfect throw, and I love how Percy Harvin's aware, the plays off rhythm, keeps his eyes back on Brett Favre, knowing he's always alive with Brett Favre as your quarterback.
So that's a 21-point lead now in the third quarter. It's over. Yeah, but the Vikings may have Brett Favre, but the Packers have Spencer Havener, ladies and gentlemen, and the Vikings found out about it. Aaron back to pass, buying time, looking for the converted linebacker. It's a touchdown. Packers down 24-13. Next drive, it's 3rd and 4. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Rodgers, Havener, Rodgers. This is working. It's another touchdown, 24-20.
But see, this is why Havener's so good. Use that linebacker experience. Just get yourself open in the void. It's zone coverage, your quarterback will find you.
Here's the problem. By rule, you have to kick off after you score. Trent?
Still a very good rule.
And a very good idea if you're the Vikings and you employ one Percy Harvin. 51-yard touchdown pass earlier, 48-yard return on that Vikings drive now. 3rd and goal, Favre rolling right. Jeff Dugan, option 14 in the Vikings offensive scheme. It doesn't matter. They're back up by 11 points. Next, Packers possession. 2nd and 4. We've seen Aaron Rodgers make plays with his arm. He's now going to make plays with his legs. He is a mobile quarterback. 35 yards on this one. He's pumped up. His team is still in it. The crowd willing them back into this game. Then later, Rodgers looking, and that is as good as a throw and as good a catch as you're ever going to see from Greg Jennings.
Oh, my goodness. Look at this concentration. Just puts the ball in the last second, gets his hands out there. Phenomenal catch.
And there was pass interference as well. Packers go for 2. They're denied, so it's a 5-point game. Later in the fourth, 5 and a hay to go. Brett Favre to Adrian Peterson, and good blocking, space. He's going to win that battle every time, Merrill.
Great call, though. Gets man coverage. All you've got to get blocked is the guy covering Peterson, and Hutchinson did just that on Bishop.
44 yards on that screen, also ran for 97. Then Favre to Bernard Berrien, who goes in for the touchdown. And well, you know what? That was a real good recognition by everybody on that play.
Great blitz recognition by the Minnesota Vikings. They see the overload pressure getting ready to come at him. Bernard Berrien recognizes it, turns around for the hot throw. Brett Favre delivers it before he's even turned around. Big play in this game.
4 touchdowns. Brett Favre 17-28. He sweeps the season series with a 38-26 win at Lambeau. How about it, Brett?
I had I was a part of some pretty good games here as a Packer, so, but this is pretty high up on the list. Although I wasn't expecting a standing ovation, I know what I've done and what I stand for. Packer fans cheer for Packers first. I know that. I hope that everyone in the stadium watching tonight said, sure hate that Joker's on the other side, but he does play the way he's always played. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we won them both. But, I'm not going to sit here and throw any daggers.
Again, he threw the daggers in the game. Yes, now, if you took away
darts in there,
yes, darts, lasers, dimes, according to Trent Dilfer, dimes. If you took away the 2 games against the Packers, he would still have a passer rating that would rank in the top 10. Once you add in those 2 games against his former team, tremendous. Almost 70% of his completions, or 70% of his passes completed, no interceptions, and he was not sacked once, not one time in 59 passing plays against the Green Bay Packers. Now, Trent, listen. The turning point might have been in the second half. Vikings are up 21 points, 24-3. Everything's going great. Boom, Packers come back a couple of times, and every time the Packers responded, Favre and the Vikings responded in turn.
Yep, especially as wide receivers. I'm amazed how quickly these wide receivers have kind of found the subtleties and nuances of Brett Favre's game, how they've earned his trust. And it's been remarkable to watch how much he trusts these guys right away and what a big impact they're making on this football team. Percy Harvin, this guy's become a go-to receiver. I love the fact that he's fighting for the ball. He's always staying alive. And on 3rd down, he's so valuable. Look at a little in and out route here, a little arrow route, sells the slant. puts his foot in the ground, gets back outside, expects the ball, and then does something after the catch, and then basic cross, a staple of the West Coast offense, the inside receiver across the field. But there's an art to this. You got to be friendly as you cross the middle. You got to give Brett Favre a lot of windows to throw the ball into. These receivers doing a great job making Brett Favre look really good sometimes.
And you know what's kind of interesting based on what you just said with those young receivers is what they do with Brett Favre on third down. I mean, you could tell the Minnesota Vikings want Brett Favre around in December. Because if there's 3rd and 6 or longer, they keep 6 guys in about 75% of the time, and sometimes 7. Okay, most of the time you're trying to get 5, 6 guys out. Okay, the Vikings don't do that. They say, let's keep Brett Favre in, keep people in, keep Brett Favre upright. Therefore, only 2 or 3 guys go out in pass routes on 3rd and long. And Brett Favre has done this. He has managed himself. He has probably done a better job this year than any year that he has played at managing himself, making the right throws, and not making that throw at the end of the game. You're like, God, why did he make that? He's not had one of those throws this year. So their plan to keep him healthy for December is working. Complimenting him, or he's complimenting them back by not making stupid throws when it's 3rd and long.
And a lot of people would say, well, what about that interception last week to Chester Taylor that was returned? It went right through Chester Taylor's hands.
Exactly.
It was right there.
That bounced off Chester Taylor's hands.
It was right there. That was more on Chester Taylor not making the catch.
Right.
That wasn't a bad throw by Brett Favre. By the way, Vikings, this whole thing's working. They are 7-1 now going into their bye week with essentially a 3-game lead over the Packers in their division because they've swept the season series and they've got the tiebreaker. When we continue, a fly, Eagles fly was a recurring theme at the Link Sunday as once again, the Giants were grounded. Baltimore, their season might have been on the line Sunday, and Denver was on their back a lot because of it.
It's where the Nittany Lions are white and the Tigers are fierce. It's where the Seminoles face the Hurricanes and the Yellow Jackets swarm the Terps. It's where the Irish fight and the Trojans charge. It's where the Longhorns battle the Sooners and the Crimson Tide face off with the Rebels. It's where the Gators rule the swamp. This is college football. It's where spirit counts the most and rivalries never die.
Got his man! Touchdown!
It's about tradition and pride. It's about today and tomorrow. It's American football played from the heart. Watch tomorrow's legends play in games today. College football lives here on ESPN America.
For the widest choice of official North American sports merchandise, for the perfect gift to collect or just to look good and support your team, visit espnamerica.com.
In 2008, Saints quarterback Drew Brees came within 15 yards of the all-time NFL single-season passing yardage record. Brees now stands with Dan Marino as the only 2 quarterbacks in NFL history to throw for more than 5,000 yards in a season. Brees thrived in Coach Sean Payton's wide-open offense. The Saints QB connected with 11 different receivers for a total of 34 touchdowns, tops in the NFL.
Philadelphia's going to the World Series. And A-Rod comes through in the clutch. Yankees win the pennant.
The 2009 World Series of Baseball continues tonight on ESPN America.
Welcome back to Prime Time. I'm Michelle Tafoya in New Orleans with this team report. Well, the unbeaten Saints came into the week with the #1 overall offense, but also the #11 overall defense. That's up from 23rd last season. New defensive coordinator Greg Williams has his team focus on 2 key objectives each week. The first, takeaways. The Saints have 18 takeaways through 6 games. They had 22 all of last season. The second, not letting opponents cross the goal line. The Saints have the number 18 scoring defense in the NFL. That's up from 26th last season. And Trey, the players are having a great time. Middle linebacker Jonathan Vilma told us this has been the most fun season he's had in his pro career.
Primetime rolls on. Unbeaten Denver coming off their bye. In Baltimore, Ravens coming off the bye. Brian Dawkins and company, one of 3 undefeateds entering Week 8. Ray Lewis and their defense trying to hit the other team as hard as they were hitting each other. And they did just that. First play from scrimmage, ow. Kyle Orton, sacked by Jarrett Johnson. Jarrett's 5th sack of the season. Later in the first, Correll Buckhalter takes the pitch left. DeJuan Landry says, "You will go nowhere!" Ravens defense held the Broncos to 19 total yards in the first quarter. On the next play, the Broncos are forced to punt. Now, laws of physics sometimes are broken, and it just happened. Somehow, this punt gets away, and it's fair caught by Chris Carr. But, Trent, how is that possible?
I don't have an answer.
How is that possible?
It goes right through his arm.
And it's a field goal for Mitch Berger and the Broncos. It's good. Right through Ed Reed's Bermuda Triangle. He'd make up for that, though. Later in the first, hello, No Sean Moreno.
Same foot, same shoulder.
Oh, rising blow. Rising blow. You want to look at it again?
Please.
Let's look at it again.
We hear it?
Well, let's just pretend.
Not on this one.
Bam! You heard that? Okay, that was ruled a catch and a fumble. Ed Reed was very
Dang.
Listen, third quarter, at the half, Ray Lewis gave a pep talk to Lardarius Webb. Lardarius Webb back to return the kick. And Ray Lewis is Tony Robbins. No money down. I can make you a millionaire. Because Lardarius Webb takes it to the house. 95 yards. And just like that, it's 13-0 Baltimore. And Lardarius talks to the rookie, and Ray says, just do what I say. I will follow me to freedom. Ravens' third down conversions. Now listen, going into this game, through the first 6 games, Denver's defense had only allowed 2 second-half third down conversions all season. That's a completion there from Joe Flacco to Kelly Washington, 18 yards. Later, another third down. Flacco, avoiding pressure, completes once again to Washington. In this game alone, the Broncos gave up 6 third down conversions in the second half. 3 plays later. Do you sense a theme here, Merrill?
I do. It's a third down theme.
That is correct.
Not good for Denver.
Derek Mason for the touchdown. Normally it is. In this game, it wasn't. John Harbaugh, look at the sly grin. Oh, he's happy. They win it 30-7. And you know, probably what makes John Harbaugh the most happiest, Merrill, is that they won this the Baltimore way. They delivered on defense, and they never let those receivers for Denver get comfortable.
Yeah, and they played to the Denver tendency. And a tendency is a probability, not a certainty. And the probability, what I'm talking about, the Denver passing game, it's a short to intermediate passing game. It's really not a vertical passing game. So if you watch this game, you could tell that the Ravens anticipated that. They played to that. They took advantage of the underneath, the short immediate stuff, and they took it away. Even on a second and long, nobody's dropping out of there. They're playing the underneath coverage to take away those short to intermediate routes. Even the defensive line anticipating if we can't get there, try to knock the ball down. Another long yardage situation. Nobody's dropping out of there. They're playing the tendency that there could be a short passing game, crossing routes, those kind of quick slants and option routes. They smothered the wide receivers. They got after the quarterback. The combination of that really neutralized the passing game for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, that tight coverage, and they also forced the ball out of the hand of the quarterback, and that's what I was really impressed with. Merrill talked about that tight coverage underneath, playing to tendency, but then they forced the issue. They dictated to the Denver Broncos how the Denver Broncos were going to play, and that's the Ravens defense I'm used to watching.
Well, here are the numbers Ravens fans are used to seeing from their defense. Only 200 yards of total offense from Denver. And by the way, Joe Flacco has now thrown a touchdown pass in every game this season. Not even Peyton Manning can make that claim.
What's wrong with Peyton?
Well, we did that last year. But Peyton and company did find a way to do what they've done now for over a calendar year now, and that would be win a regular season game. And suddenly, things going Tony Romo's way in Big D. Hey, the Cowboys may be for real.
College football lives here on ESPN America.
What about that play?
Where athletes become machines, where spirit counts the most, and where blood runs green and gold. Catch all the action from your favorite teams and watch tomorrow's legends play in games today. college football lives here on ESPN America.
This year, the world's first global election is taking place. An election between Earth and global warming. On December 16, world leaders are meeting in Copenhagen to vote on taking action against global warming. It's time to make our voice heard as one global people, to make sure world leaders vote Earth. Visit earthhour.org to show your vote, because global warming is not about what country you're from, it's about what planet you're from.
There are moments when time seems to stop and the world holds its breath. Because life isn't measured by the number of breaths you take, but by the moments that take your breath away. Celebrate those moments with ESPN Classic, the official FIFA World Cup films on ESPN Classic.
Primetime rolls on. Niners and Colts. It's a match with two former number ones, Peyton Manning and Alex Smith. Of course, there is no score in the first quarter, and we focus on Frank Gore because the Colts defense forgot to focus on him. 64 yards, literally right up the gut. And the Niners lead 7-0. Later in the first half, 49ers driving. You know, Alex Smith has really been in sync with Vernon Davis, Trent.
Yeah, he really has. Alex Smith looked very decisive in the ball game on Sunday.
And that's a touchdown, 14-6. They led it 14-9 at that. Peyton Manning and the Colts settling for field goals. Early, first quarter, stuffage to Joseph Adai. Matt Stover, newly signed, field goal, so they made it 7-3. Second quarter, Manning, what's wrong with Peyton? We're kidding. Overthrows Dallas Clark. Stover, field goal. Colts trail 7-6. Early third quarter, it's 14-9. Manning sacked by Isaac Sapoaga. Same drive. Manning looking for Reggie Wayne, who, by the way, Reggie Wayne wasn't sure if he was going to play, so clearly he wasn't effective. Incomplete. And then later, Manning sacked by Ray McDonald.
Best way to neutralize Peyton Manning, get him on the ground.
That is correct. 4 field goals, 14-12. So last play of the third quarter, they run the stretch play to Joseph Adai on the right side. Now what happens, Trent, after you end the third quarter?
Well, you start the fourth quarter.
And you switch ends.
Yes.
So they run the stretch play again. But aha! Listen! Did you know that Joseph Adai is left-handed?
Yeah, the San Francisco 49ers knew this.
And left-handed. And it's a option pass, Trent, to Reggie Wayne.
Nice play set up. You get the secondary linebackers to come up and sneak your best receiver behind him. Really nice play design.
Indy's Wildcat.
They win 18-14, and Reggie, 12 catches, a career-high 147 yards. All right, Giants-Eagles at the Link.
This is going to be a good one.
Whoa, let me tell you something. The Giants had all kinds of issues the last couple of weeks. Donovan McNabb in a battle for first place. Opening possession. It's not Brian Westbrook. It's not Carell Buckhalter anymore. It's not even LaShawn McCoy. It's Leonard Weaver. A 41-yard touchdown. Eagles up 7-0. Ensuing Giants possession. Eli Manning for Asante Samuel. Problem, Samuel plays for the Eagles. He returns it inside the 10. And this next play might have summed up the day for the New York Football Giants. A holding penalty made it a 3rd and goal from the 18. And Trent, they convert.
Absolutely. How you allow the tight end to get down the seam like that in that situation, that's completely uncalled for.
13-0 on the TD to Brent Selleck. They did miss the extra point. Second quarter, Eagles up 16-7. McNabb looking for Deshaun Jackson. What a shocker! Deshaun Jackson with a big play. That's his 6th touchdown this season of 50 or more yards. That one 54.
And now one thing that the Giants have a tendency to do, they go to a cover 2 against a 3 wide receiver look. I think the Eagles knew that. Deep corner route. The official's even shocked by the whole thing. He falls down as Deshaun Jackson.
Either that or he had an invisibility cloak on because
like,
no
let
one
me get out of the way.
Near him. And then after another Eli Manning interception right before the half, boy, the big plays are rolling. Jeremy Maclin on a 23-yard score. It was 30-7 at the break. And just for fun in the fourth quarter, 33-17. 66 yards. This time it is the rookie, LaShawn McCoy. It is a whooping at the Link. Fly, Eagles, fly. 40-17 the final. They take over first place in the NFC East. 3 straight losses for the Giants. And let us delve inside the numbers. All right, they beat up the likes of the Bucks, Chiefs, Redskins, and Raiders. That thud you heard was the Giants' defense coming back down to earth the last 3 weeks against division leaders, the Saints, Cardinals, and Eagles. The Giants have allowed an average of 37 points per game in those 3 losses. There are a lot of problems right now, Merrill, when you look at the New York Giants. Tom Coughlin said afterwards, we're just going to keep fighting. Right. Where does the fight need to start?
Well, I think the one area that you can neutralize both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and that is with your running game. That's the one area that impacts both sides. You know, keep the defense on the sideline a little longer. A few more reps for the offense, your running game. But the real concern that I have is Brandon Jacobs. You know, now Brandon Jacobs reminds me of Christian Okoye. He is a big back. And big backs in the National Football League, they just don't play very long because there's so much to hit on them. As I watched Brandon Jacobs and have studied him, especially this year, prior to his last couple of years, he's not as decisive, he's not as powerful, he's somewhat timid when he gets to the line of scrimmage. And listen, I'm not blaming him because, listen, I understand. I played the position. After you take so many hits with a 2x4 upside the head when you walk through the door, sometimes you hesitate a little bit. And I'm just concerned that the same thing happened to Christian Okoye. Couple awesome years, and then all of a sudden he just disappeared because he was beat up so bad. I think Brandon Jacobs may be at that wall, and if he is, the Giants are going to be in a lot of trouble because he's the guy that can neutralize both sides of the ball. And if he doesn't get back to the form of last year, they will continue to struggle.
Yeah, they do need to run the ball because they got to protect this defense because they're getting exposed, and the Philadelphia Eagles did a great job exposing them once again. They did it with the big play, and this has become a theme for the Philadelphia Eagles this year, using the big play as their offense. No longer does this team march the football. They get after you with the big pass play down the field, mainly to Deshaun Jackson. When you're going to create big plays in the passing game, you got to control the safety either by manipulating them or baiting them. Right here, they bait the backside safety with the hook route underneath. He settles his feet. Deshaun Jackson has the opportunity to get on top of the defense. Now you manipulate the safety at the pump fake. Donovan McNabb says, hey, I'll take care of the safety. Deshaun Jackson, you take care of the corner. Get on top. I'll get you the football. And then against the Giants, how does he get so open versus cover 2? Well, it's the release, the stem, the vertical attack on the safety, gets him twisted up. Now when he breaks to the high corner, he's wide open. The Philadelphia Eagles are doing a great job devising plays each week for the explosive element of the game, and that's how they're scoring points.
The Eagles have done this consistently, and in the last 3 games, the Giants have given up those big plays right down the middle of the field consistently. They clearly miss safety Kenny Phillips, who's out for the season.
There's no question.
So this sets up a huge game next Sunday night between the Eagles and the Cowboys for first place.
How about them Cowboys?
Miles Austin and company taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Let's take a look at Tony Romo. They're already down 3-0. It's 2nd and 1. Sam Hurd, option 5 in the passing game for the Cowboys. Good option! 36 yards and some not real good tackling on the touchdown.
You know what, listen, at the end of the day, you still need effort. Get your head across the ball carrier and run through him. Don't stand there, can't arm tackle.
And listen, we have a Roy Williams sighting in the Cowboys offense. This put them up 21-10 just before the half. They had to rule and look at the replay, but as you see, with possession, ball extends over the goal. That is indeed a touchdown. His 2nd of the year, boys up 21-10. 3rd quarter, you knew Miles Austin was coming eventually, Trent.
Absolutely. And Miles Austin and Tony Romo have something special brewing with their timing. That is a complete trust throw, and they're making that play look easy this year.
The dunk did not look easy. Romo, 3 touchdowns, passed to 10 different receivers, did not throw an interception. And look at Bobby Carpenter timing the blitz perfectly.
Yeah, well, you know, you just said it. That's what you got to do with the blitz. It's got to be about timing. You got to be quick and fast, and they were all of that, especially with their defensive line.
Hasselbeck pressured, great coverage there by Orlando Scandrick, but T.J. Hushmanzada running a comeback, and he wasn't seen, and he made sure everybody saw him being a little upset, a spot cross, a tad miffed, a bit irked on the sidelines. Late 3rd quarter, Hasselbeck, dealing with those broken ribs, and Jason Hatcher levels, and Matthews stayed down, but he's tough with staying in the game. Now remember, Patrick Creighton lost his punt return job after the debacle in Kansas City, and they signed Allen Ross, and then he got injured. Patrick's got the job. He's going to keep it for a while. That's the 2nd straight game with a punt return for a score. Cowboys roll 38-17. When we continue on NFL Primetime, it is one thing to talk the talk, but the Jets need to realize you got to walk the walk, which has been the missing part of the equation for them. And the Houston Texans, ladies and gentlemen, are in uncharted franchise history with a huge game coming up this Sunday.
Ryan Westbrook is one of the NFL's most dynamic running backs.
Nobody runs the screen better than Ryan Westbrook.
Able to break the long run or get the tough yard, the two-time Pro Bowler is the key to Philadelphia's success.
Hand off to Jonathan Stewart, and the black jerseys are all over, but he pulls away.
Off tackle. D'Angelo Williams has a crease, and he runs for a first down. He breaks a tackle, and he may go now.
It's Jonathan Stewart, left side. Stiff arm to the 5. He's in. Touchdown. It's D'Angelo off left tackle. He's in the clear across midfield.
Get out of my way, Rondé Barber. I got somewhere to go.
That was a face plant. D'Angelo Williams dives for the right pylon. He's got it.
NFL on ESPN America.
ESPN America is your home for live college football.
Holy cow, what a play.
Every Saturday, join the Game Day crew as they travel across North America.
Touchdown, Notre Dame.
Covering the best matchups in the college football calendar.
Touchdown, Oklahoma. What a great call.
College Football Saturdays on ESPN America.
Welcome back to Primetime. I'm Susie Colbert in New Orleans with this team report. Tight ends will play a huge role in tonight's game. Jeremy Shockey and Tony Gonzalez aren't just friends. They have great admiration and respect for each other. Shockey said of Gonzalez, yes, he's the best. In fact, he may be the best of all time because he's done it year in and year out. Just the way he catches, the way he blocks defenders with his body. And he may be aging, but he's always dangerous. And Gonzalez said of Shockey, when he's healthy, you can't really say anyone is better. In the end, Shockey hates the comparisons and says, especially for kids, he hopes they'll watch the game and respect them both tonight.
Well, not good news for the Falcons defense as they get set to face Drew Brees and the Saints. In 3 home games this season, that would be 3. Brees has yet to be sacked in 96 pass attempts, and 10 of his 14 touchdown passes have come at the Dome. Dolphins, Jets, and who knew this game would come down to a mano-a-mano battle between 2 gigantic players. Jets kicker Jay Feely and Ted Ginn Jr. What a ding, 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 ding. Second quarter, Feely kicks to Ginn. Now, listen, Ginn is there. He's a dangerous threat, as we'll show you, but watch Jay Feely. I am tracking you, Teddy. I am tracking you. Splits through a couple of blockers and makes the tackle. Woo! Pumped up. All right, here we go. Second half kickoff. Feely again kicks again. You thought it was a fluke? Hold on. Here comes the steamroller known as Jay Feely. Takes him down again, and he is still amped. This is going to continue all day until it didn't, which was in the third quarter. And that's a goodbye from Teddy Ginn.
Take that.
100 yards to the house, and just like that, Miami's up 10-6. Now, listen, after 2 great kick tackles, where was Jay Feely?
Well, all you got to do to score touchdowns on kick return against the Jets is get away from Jay Feely, and he gets caught up in the wash there and gets to the edge.
Blocked by his own man.
Block him.
Darn it. Darn it.
We believe our kick returner can avoid the kicker.
And then again, they kicked again. And one, Larry Izzo misses, another player misses, and those 2 guys miss. There's no backside support. Ginn is off to the house. He's the first player in NFL history with 2 touchdowns of 100 yards or more in the same game. It's now 24-13. Where was Jay Feely?
Well, look at Teddy Ginn starts to the left because he wants to suck Jay Feely to the left side of the field. So when he cuts back, their main tackler on special teams isn't there.
And in fact, that's exactly what happened. Wait.
See that?
No gap control. You must have lane control. And he's gone again. Not bad for a guy, by the way, who was vilified by former Dolphins during the week and benched out of the starting receiver job. All right, Mark Sanchez, trying to put together back-to-back games, was okay against the Raiders. Didn't throw an interception. Look at the effort by Braylon Edwards. Great throw, and he gets in for the touchdown.
Yeah, great effort by Braylon Edwards, getting the ball first, kind of a blind throw, and then fighting, waiting for Dustin Keller to go over there and knock him in.
They went for a 2-point conversion. It failed, so they're down 24-19. Fourth quarter, they're now down by 11. Sanchez to Dustin Keller, that's a touchdown. 2-point conversion fails again, so it's 30-25. Over 2 minutes left. Doing nice things here, Merrill. Sanchez is.
I back up, buy a little time, and you know what? That linebacker's back's turned. Let me give it to my guy and see if he can make a play for me.
Trent,
and he does.
Trent, what is their new defense for?
A perfect throw, and that's what this is. Just like Merrill's saying, defender's backs to you, just throw it at the top of his helmet.
All right, so that worked well. Now 3rd and 6. Sanchez gets starched by Randy. Hello, nice to see you. So now it's 4th and 13. You got to make a play. Now Mark is trying to do something. He backs up to the 25.
Instead of a 30-yard throw.
It's now a 47-yard throw. He had the arm, but nothing going there. And the Dolphins beat the Jets. They sweep the season series 30-25. All right, the Texans in Buffalo taking on the Bills. Now, Steve Slayton on the bench after fumbling the ball in the first quarter. That had been a problem. First quarter. Matt Schaub to Slayton, who fumbles again. That's his 5th of the season. He would remain on the bench. So that means Ryan Moats, Merrill, is going to get more playing time. And all of this worked out very well.
Tough,
Ryan Moats and the Texans.
Tough game for tough people, and you must come in there with any opportunity you can and respond, which Moats does.
It's
nice when there's a seam like that.
Picked up a few years ago in the draft by the Eagles, now playing for the Texans. That's just the beginning of things. That led to a Texans field goal. And now in the 4th quarter, Ryan Moats gets a little screen and has some action, and things are going well.
That was a great individual play. That was supposed to go outside to the left. He realizes they've played it right, so he comes back to the middle.
Yeah, and again, listen, it was working, and they stuck with it.
There's no question. Now that is definitely a seal
and a seal
there,
and a seal.
And an alley right there. It could be the Red Sea, or mistaken for the Red Sea.
That hole was so big a train seal could have scored on that one. And then special teams, also some issues. Bills fake the punt. Brian Moorman hands off to Justin Jenkins, and Jenkins, no, brought down short of the first down. Dick John's gamble does not work later on that drive. You know what? That's quarterback's best friend, Trent.
Absolutely.
Ryan Moats again.
He's done a great job in the offensive line for the Houston Texans. Big alleys all day long.
And then he got him down there, finish it off. Texans win 31-10. They're 5-3 for the first time in franchise history as Moats one more time into the end zone. A career-high 3 touchdowns, 126 yards. Matt Schaub hit 10 different receivers. Owen Daniels, though, lost for the season with an ACL injury. Raiders, Chargers. Tom Cable trying to just focus on football. Opening drive of the game, it's 1st and 10. Jamarcus Russell fakes the handoff and throws to
wrong team.
Antonio Cromartie. We've seen this act before. Ensuing Chargers drive, it's the San Diego Wildcat. It's the LaDainian Tomlinson Wildcat. That's the LT we know and love.
Yeah.
Into the end zone.
The suddenness to it, quickness, agility.
Had a couple of touchdowns. 31 seconds left in the half. Sean Merriman, gets to Jamarcus Russell. He goes down, and we've seen this act before as well. The lights out with exuberance.
For a while, we haven't seen it.
Okay, Trent. I hear you, Trent. Sean Merriman heard you, Trent, because he dropped him again. What do you got to say now, Trent? Now, listen, it does help. Does not help Jamarcus when the rub route for the Raiders picks their own 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, that's actually great coverage.
And they fall. Russell sacked 5 times. The Chargers beat the Raiders for the 13th straight time. When we continue on NFL Primetime, say whatever you want. The stats tell me that Vince Young is pretty good as a starting quarterback in the NFL. And he proved it again in his first chance on Sunday. Plus, there is unbridled joy in Festus, Missouri. The dark, long nightmare is over.
This year, the world's first global election is taking place. An election between Earth and global warming. On December 16, world leaders are meeting in Copenhagen to vote on taking action against global warming. It's time to make our voice heard as one global people, to make sure world leaders vote Earth. Visit earthhour.org to show your vote, because global warming is not about what country you're from, it's about what planet you're from.
Philadelphia's going to the World Series.
And A-Rod comes through in the clutch. Yankees win the pennant.
The 2009 World Series of Baseball continues tonight on ESPN America.
2008 was a big year for Steelers linebacker James Harrison. In addition to becoming a Super Bowl champion, Harrison also took home the hardware for NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Harrison is a perfect fit at outside linebacker for Pittsburgh. His 16 sacks ranked him 4th in the NFL, but his ability to drop into coverage and make plays is what sets him apart.
Panthers and Cardinals, let's just say this most recent meeting was like the total opposite of what happened the last time. Jake Delhomme in that home loss to Carolina, in Carolina to Arizona, had 6 turnovers. All right, they're in Arizona. That's just a little screen, a little smoke route. It's a smoke route. Take it tackled right away. Nothing happens there. Now,
fake smoke.
Oh, see what they did was they set that up so they can use that later, and that's a touchdown to Steve Smith. That's good game plan.
That's right. They call that a smoke go. Carolina Panthers created this route, and they have developed it to this. That is Steve Smith right there.
Yes, and that is Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie waving goodbye.
Right there. Going, darn you.
That was
a smoke route.
That was well set up. 50 yards to the house. Panthers up 21-7. Okay, Kurt Warner not having a great day, and that would be putting it nicely. Julius Peppers picked 6, 13 yards for the touchdown, 28-7. Great reaction, Trent.
Unbelievable play by Julius Peppers. Sheds the cut block and then has the awareness to catch the ball and go score.
Quarterback's worst nightmare. You thought he was blocked.
Yep.
Next Carolina series, some of these were not Kurt's fault. That is tipped, and, well, that one might have been.
Yeah, you didn't know where that one was going had it not been tipped.
That is
wasn't
correct.
in a very good spot.
This one we could say probably isn't his fault. Jeremy Urban has his hands on the ball, big hit, and then Sherrod Martin gets the interception. Remember in that playoff loss, Jake Delhomme had 5 interceptions and a fumble. Kurt Warner had 5 interceptions and a fumble in this one.
He's been a neutral site.
Yeah, let's see what happens. 34-21. Jaguars and Titans. Well, listen, yes, Vince Young starts, but there's a lot of running in this game. First start since week 1, 2008.
That's why.
Okay. Here we go. 3rd and 3. Listen, this is what Vince can do. Buy some time, escapes a couple of tackles, picks up the first down. So later in that drive, it's 2nd and goal. Even you, Merrill, would say this was a good throw.
It's a great throw.
There you go. Titans lead 10-0.
Great throw.
Young 15-18, 125 yards. Careful, you sound like Bart Scott talking about the Dolphins. Then there's Maurice Jones-Drew. He goes left side. He goes back to the middle. This is actually an 80-yard run that probably took about 94 yards, considering how much he was weaving back and forth. Jags go down 13-7 after an 80-yard run. You want to go to the 3rd quarter?
Please, fast forward.
Maurice Jones-Drew again. This time, it's not an 80-yard run.
Wow.
A 79-yard run. Watch David Garrard, though. I am here for you, MJD, because you are a factor back and a rolling ball of butcher knives. Listen, by the way, here's my thought. Maurice Jones-Drew had 177 yards on 8 carries. How come he only had 8 carries?
There's no good answer to that question.
Thank you. 3rd quarter, Chris Johnson says, listen, if MJD, you're going to do that, I'm going to do this. Boosh. Those are the afterburners that he just turned on. He's fast. He's really, really fast.
He's definitely the fastest back in football. But this right here tells you everything about what is required to be back. Not just the speed.
Yeah.
We'll see the replay. And without these other 2 elements,
89 yards.
means nothing.
89 yards. By the way, the first game in NFL history with 4 combined rushing touchdowns
the
50
quick
yards
feet
or more.
In and out of the hole.
Oh, Brian Russell. 228 yards for Chris Johnson. See, he had more than 8 carries. And the Titans win 30-13. All right, Browns and Bears. You thought this might be a bounce-back game for Chicago after getting handled by Cincinnati. And the Bears pay tribute to the late, great Walter Payton on the 10th anniversary of his death. And what better way that we could pay tribute to look at what Walter Payton did in a couple of meetings against the Browns. September 7th, 86, 3-yard touchdown, the 99th of his career on the ground. And then McMahon for an 11-yard score. Mike Ditka bumped on the sidelines. Payton on this day against Cleveland, 22 carries, 113 yards, touchdown, 2 receptions, and a touchdown. Back to this game. Matt Forte is not Walter Payton, but they need him to make plays. And Jay Cutler to Matt Forte on the little dump off, picks up 28 yards, led to a Bears field goal. 3rd quarter, 16-6. Matt Forte goes left, cut back, picks up a block, gets around the edge, a 10-yard touchdown. Forte, 26 carries, 90 yards, 2 scores, and the Bears go on to win it 30-6. We miss you, Walter. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the game of the week of the year so far. A team that had lost 17 straight against a team that had once lost 19 straight. Not a hard call. Okay, here let's go to basics if you're playing the Lions and the Rams. One of the keys to winning, I think we'd all agree if you're a quarterback, Trent, is practice warming up with your receiver.
Yeah, get your timing down, see their routes. Wait a second, that's not a receiver.
He's throwing field goals.
You don't want to hit that.
What, Trent? What, Trent? I might need that.
Here's another thing you want to do. All right, Matthew Stafford here throws that one, and it's picked off. You want to capitalize on turnovers. James Butler does that. He walks out of the end zone.
Well, you surely can't go back in.
Well, you can, but then it's a safety, and not only do you get points for the other team, but you have to give them the ball back. Way to go. All right. It is still 3-2 in the 7th inning. The Lions did not do something you need to do if you win, which is prepare for the unexpected.
Exactly.
And the Rams are into trickeration. When you've lost 17 straight, everything's an option, including Josh Brown's on the fake field goal to Daniel Fells, who is wide open. He's in. It's now 10-2. So the Lions did not do that. Now, the other thing you want to do if you want to win the game and you've got a good running back is what, Merrill?
Feed him the ball.
Run the ball. You know, lost in the carnage of the Rams season is the fact that Steven Jackson will not let reps or opposing players stop him. Boom! First down.
But honestly, he is their offense.
He is everything for the Rams, and the Lions felt it. The first rushing touchdown of the season, 149 yards. It is over. The long, tragic 17-game losing streak is done. 17-10, the Rams beat the Lions, and not since the Super Bowl win of 34 has there been a bigger football celebration in the downtown streets of St. Louis. Market Street is going crazy. Webster Groves is just euphoric. It's over, and the Bucs are still winners. When we continue on NFL Primetime Flavors, we will hand them out. We have 3 different options. We all think our option is the best option.
Get the best hockey action here on ESPN America. This Saturday, we're in Canada for a live doubleheader. The Red Wings travel north to Toronto to face Thomas Caberlet and the Leafs. Then the Rangers are in Calgary to face the Flames. A live NHL doubleheader. Saturday on ESPN America.
Florence, a city rich in history, one of the staples of Western civilization where romanticism and art go hand in hand, usually forgets all about those qualities for one day every year. Steeped in almost 500 years of tradition and described loosely as a mix between football and rugby, with a good dose of bare-knuckle boxing added to the mix, Calcio Storico is not a game for those who are squeamish at the sight of blood. It's a sport where, for 70 minutes, friends become enemies. Calcio Storico can be traced back as far as 16th century Florence. At that time, several soldiers used this game to train for combat. The only rule was, and still is, that you cannot hit an unconscious player. Fair enough. Over the centuries, not a lot has changed in the way Calcio Storico is played. But then again, that's where the beauty in this bloody spectacle lies. As players do whatever is humanly possible to score against opponents who will do the impossible to stop them. The game is fairly simple. Score in your opponent's goal and avoid being scored in any way humanly possible. Did I mention bare-knuckle boxing? Defense in this match is also rewarded, as any attempt on goal that sails high results in a half point for the defending team. Like any other action-packed encounter, the final minutes lead to an emotional ending. So amidst the traditional costumes, blood, and team-coloured smoke bombs, the battle comes to an end in front of thousands who celebrate the city's colourful and unique past. Stay tuned for more amazing games here on ESPN.
2008 was a big year for Steelers linebacker James Harrison. In addition to becoming a Super Bowl champion, Harrison also took home the hardware for NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Harrison is a perfect fit at outside linebacker for Pittsburgh. His 16 sacks ranked him 4th in the NFL. but his ability to drop into coverage and make plays is what sets him apart.
Well, in a losing effort, Bills rookie Jarris Byrd became only the 5th player in NFL history to intercept at least 2 passes in 3 straight games. Maurice Jones-Drew, again, numbers emphasized, 177 yards on just 8 carries against Tennessee. He also leads the NFL with 10 rushing touchdowns this season. And they went to Jared, 3 sacks on Sunday, 7.5 sacks this season against the Packers. He has 3 in all of the games not against the Green Bay Packers. It is time for prime time performers, and somebody took the easy way out, Trent.
No, it's just too easy, Brett.
Somebody didn't put on their thing.
Say all you want. 16 years he plays in this building for the Green Bay Packers, comes back as a Viking, and just handles it so well.
Merrill, go a little deeper.
Here, let's go deep. Now, this guy is one of the most electrifying players in all of football. Definitely the fastest running back and the primetime performer of this week.
You pay tribute to those who have survived and advanced. Steven Jackson has the exact same number of rushing yards as Adrian Peterson, has the exact same number of yards per carry, and he's averaging the exact same number of yards per game as Adrian Peterson. Steven Jackson is the primetime performer, 149 yards in the Rams season. All right, we got a Monday night game here.
Yes, we do.
New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons. What will you be looking for?
You know, in the last month, the New Orleans Saints have run the ball more than anybody in the second half, winning or losing. So we'll see if Atlanta can neutralize one of those aspects and win this one. I just don't think so.
I think special teams is going to play a big role tonight. Reggie Bush doing something in the special teams game.
And Reggie Bush has said he thinks the Saints can go undefeated and he'll be an NFL MVP. Thanks for watching.
Wow.
See you at the game.